Being we're live. It's Sam. It's Puneet is here. Mike is here. Michael is here. Raul is just saying he's not going to make it because he's in transit from one physical location to another. I guess we'll see if he joins us later on. I guess the key thing that distinguishes this from just a general Scrum event is that we should be looking at the retrospective document, which quite possibly no one has added anything to, because I know I sort of sorted it out, but then I've been so overwhelmed with trying to get this intermittent JavaScript stuff sorted that I don't know that I've done anything on it. But let's have a look. There's the link for it. Let me share this screen. Yes. Let's share that screen, and that's coming in there. Let's move that out of the way and bring this one in. Bum 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 bum. Da, 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 da. So Mike has gone and added some struggles. Needs someone to do some pairing with to create an event in local time. Yeah, I think for Sam, I'm just going to add in here. Intermittent JS failures have been a real pain. Yeah, I guess. Any other struggles people want to bring up that they've had during the week? I know that Puneet, you've had some setup struggles.
Yep.
I'll just review the action items, previous ones. So yeah, it would be nice if there was a reliable way to replicate the intermittent JS failures. We haven't found that. We've definitely merged some PRs. We've taken a stab towards trying to sort the intermittent JS failures. Michael and I have just finished kind of a clean room thing where we took out all of the cucumbers and the environment configuration and everything, and we rebuilt the configuration, and then we added them all back in, and we think it stabilized it a bit. I mean, we added sandboxing as well, but for the network connections. But we still seem to get very occasional failures, so that's a pain. We haven't yet taken a real payment through the site. Would like to get to that. And we've got, these two things still need to continue to improve, but there we go. So I guess, does anybody want to chat about anything? I'm just going to add some things. Does anybody want to talk about any of the struggles? Anything we can reflect upon, or how we can make this just let our feelings out, or make the struggles go away somehow?
Yeah.
Go on, Puneet.
So I tried to run the what was the name of the feature? Yeah, charge activity feature, the Stripe one.
Yeah.
So the environment variables for the secret key and the public key that you gave. So I'm actually confused about one thing. So these two variables need to be set up as environment variable, or they should go into some file in the project root.
They need to go into a file called .env in the project root.
Okay. I think I got it confused first time. So yeah, I tried running RSpec tests, and the issue is still same as I described in the issue that I.
Yeah.
So I'm yet to test the. I guess I was testing wrong way previously. I'll try to test it again.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess. And so, as I was saying to you this morning, I mean, I think this project is it's an intermediate level project, and so it's not necessarily the best. I think that there's a need for us to move fast on this project in order to support the broader AgileVentures community. So if we can't give you as much help on this project, then my apologies.
No issues. I'm just trying to pull up some easy tasks. So up for grabs. So yeah, those sort of things. I'm not really.
No, fair enough. I mean, have a go. I mean, do also consider the local support project, which also has up for grab tasks and things on it, although it's through the Pivotal Tracker. But yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of also in the setup, I mean, we would love to have it so that the project setup was really smooth for everyone. But yeah, I mean, I guess the error that you've got there, it's in the issue. So it was a RSpec. Well, it seemed to be related to Capybara screenshot, there was like a, couldn't find the source. When was it go? Couldn't find source. What did it also say? It was also saying like connect error. And it was on Ubuntu. Yeah. So yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Well, and Mike, you were going to reach out to Michael to do some pairing. I guess you didn't have any time in the last week for pairing. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got time all week this week.
Okay. Okay.
Just just set up just set up a time like a day beforehand.
Sure.
Just so I know when to be there. But I mean, I've definitely got time this week.
Okay. Okay. Great. Well, we'll make this work, get sorted out today. I'm feeling very positive about having. Well, I guess I'll just say any other struggles that we need to reflect upon, looking back over the last week. If not, we'll move on to successes, and I'll say, well, I'm very pleased that Michael and I are working hard. We've actually got this clean room branch. It's got all of the acceptances back in it. And I think I'd love to get that merged in before moving on. I mean, we've got. I hate to sort of stamp on Brian's 2.3 Ruby upgrade, but I just feel like we must have this cleaner config and the sandboxing in place. I'll be happy to try and build 2.3 on top of that. Anybody else want to share any successes from their points of view over the last week?
What is this 2.3 Ruby upgrade?
So
we're upgrading Ruby on the project, or?
Well, Brian took on. I was also having a look at trying to fix the intermittent JS errors, and he, as part of that, he took the approach of on a branch experimenting with upgrading to Ruby 2.3 and upgrading all of the gems. So if we look at the website one pulls here, we can see that. Yeah, so Brian, who was the project manager way back when, he had to go here at upgrading to Ruby 2.3, fixing the failures that came as it were, and then also doing some stuff that he thought was hopefully going to fix the intermittent JS. Raul tested his thing, and I think he was saying it seemed more stable, but then he definitely got some failures. Raul was keen to sort of start building on top of this. When I tried to merge that 2.3 into our clean room, that didn't work out so well. There was some weirdness going on. And I'm going to be Raul says he might make the end of this meeting. I'm going to be cheerleading the idea that we pull the acceptance tests in ASAP, and then we can work on pulling 2.3 on top of that or what have you. I mean, I think having finished this, these two pull requests now become redundant, and so on. Anyway, does that make sense?
Yep.
Great. So going back over here, yeah. So I think that was our success. It's frustrating that this has, sort of taken up as much time as it has. I guess another struggle for me is on the communication front. I kind of worked hard to craft the communication with Free Ranger about his use of JavaScript in one of the pull requests. I don't know. You can for your entertainment, and then assuming that you have copious free time in which to read the things that I write, which end up being longer than I have. I've edited it down several times, but you can see, this exciting exchange here where I try and talk about how one might use Jasmine tests to test the bit of JavaScript that he's added, and also talk about how if someone's suggesting something in a pull request, rather than fiercely arguing for your point of view, maybe just sort of try it, because ongoing debate can be kind of exhausting. But anyway, I think we're just at the point where we're going to merge that one in and leave that. I was going to talk to Raoul about that, but he's not here. Okay, and then any suggestions? Well, anybody else? Any other successes from their point of view? I was like, it's affair of pairing with Michael. I guess some missed opportunities pairing. I felt like actually, Michael, we missed each other a few times. I guess not a big deal. I don't know. I guess the probably maybe we. Well, I guess Michael, you continue to be, free. Your availability is going to be sort of even. Depends on the day going over the next few weeks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes when you weren't up so early, and I got some stuff done, so no big deal, I guess. Yeah, good to know. I mean, it'll certainly help me. Like, so right now, I was, pushing on and doing some stuff on this AV102. As the stuff that I need to do for the MOOC and the AV102 comes up, the further I know in advance, when you're available, the easier it's going to be for me to make sure that if you're not available, I can work on some of the individual tasks for the course versus making sure that when you are available, we can do pairing. So just give me as much notice as you can, and we'll get as much pairing in as we can because it's fun. Any other successes? If not, any suggestions going forward about I guess my suggestion there is like, planning the pairing a little bit more. Any other suggestions about things we need to do or do better?
No, I mean, just
keep on keeping on. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just the pairing thing. It'd be. I don't know. I just feel like there should be a better way to try to hook up.
Yes, it's a good. I mean, have you been like had some free time and wanted to pair and were not able to because you weren't sure who else was available? Or are you sort of saying now that like the next week is going to be a good week for you?
I mean, I've had some free time here and there, and I'd kind of look at the chat, and usually, you guys were all already paired up. It's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to see like who's available. I guess it's kind of my own fault. I should have just popped in the channel and said, hey, is anybody available to work on this? But
yeah, I think it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, what it would be nice. It would be nice if there was a really low effort way to see who was available for pairing. It's a funny kind of thing of I mean, I think things have been sort of tried in as much as like we've got this functionality of one of many functionalities that have been added to the site where is it maybe turned off now? It used to have a thing. You'd have like we turn it off. Oh no, there's like a status here. So there's like a status thing that now I can't work out how to edit. But you saw there that it said waiting for next scrum there. I think it's kind of been disabled. I mean, and not to in any way suppress your thought there about how can we make the sort of pair hookup easier, because in some ways that's what the whole of this enterprise is about, is some way to sort of try and make it so it's really easy, so people just fall into pairing and they can do it and have a great time. I think that the difficulty with many of these things is like, I guess it's been disabled because it's now not like I've got my waiting for next scrum is now not visible in the users thing. The problem with any kind of setting that people activate is it sort of relies upon some sort of kind of consensus about, what does it mean? Like if I think there was an option for it to say like ready to pair, right? And we could have it through this and people could like update their status and say like, oh, I'm ready to pair. But then that relies on everybody keeping their status updated and an accurate reflection of whether they want to pair. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
There is, and of course there is the status, within the within the what's it called, Slack, they have the thing that tells us who's online. And I think the reason that works, well, not necessarily for pairing, is like if you had to like remember to switch something on to say I'm ready to chat, it wouldn't be so useful. The fact that it tells me, that certain people are online there is kind of a useful thing. But then again, the like being ready to pair, it's a very kind of like subtle emotional state to be in, perhaps, and that people can feel quite nervous about sometimes. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
And so I guess at the risk, I'm maybe just babbling there. I guess what I'm trying to, I think it would be nice to find I don't know, there's a way is like, can we find a better scaffolding for pair hookup? Examples of things that we've sort of have been suggested and have also been tried in the past is that we have like a pairing calendar, and so where people put up availability in advance, and that has mixed things in terms of relies on people putting their availability in, and then of course life happens and they're not available, and I don't know, so there's like status notices on the members' profiles. But definitely, Mike, I think that there's no it's certainly a great thing, to kind of like be more proactive and just try saying Slack or Puneet's been dropping into the Hangouts that Michael and I have been in and kind of saying hi and so on. So. Does anyone do you have any other ideas about other ways in which we can better support pair hookups and pairing?
I wonder if there's a way to kind of do something in Slack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you thinking? Like a Slack plugin or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you have like your availability thing. I don't know if Slack allows for custom availabilities. Like instead of.
Right. I haven't really played with the availability thing. Is that?
It's mostly automatic. It just kind of turns.
You've got this like do not disturb thing, right?
Well, yeah, you have that, but you also have your availability, like where you turn green or your like a circle, an empty circle.
Right.
If you're like there or not.
Yeah, right. This thing here. So like Raoul's offline and Michael and Zhao are online. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a plugin or something that you could like when you're looking for a pair, you can just change your. Although that wouldn't really. That wouldn't necessarily work too well because you would only see that in direct messages.
Well, you can also see it. I mean, actually, there are ways of seeing the like. You see it, even if like when you start to type somebody's name in here, like this, you see it. You see the green circle, the photo in many different places. I think the difficulty would be is that people would need to know that function was there, and they would need to, kind of like use it regularly, and there kind of be some, agreement of that going on. It's do you know what I mean? I mean, it certainly be something to experiment with. I think the trick is with these kind of things is adding something in such a way and then having people ending up using it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe worth a try. I mean, so we've got like, yeah, and so this is, ready to pair. We do that with the Slack plugin. Yeah. Anyway, anything else? I mean, the idea of the retrospective is really just to create a little space where we can look back and talk about those things that maybe are difficult to talk about in pairing sessions, or just otherwise we have the code pressed up against our faces the whole time. Anything else that anybody else would like to mention or reflect upon looking back over the last week? If not, then I guess we can go to the board, which is kind of our. Yeah, I guess in terms of actually pulling things in, we will wait for Raul. So that's the board. Haven't got any further with the main vision statement. We did talk about maybe sketching the domain, possibly. I have not made any progress with the whole documentation thing. It's all a bit fallen by the wayside, focusing on the intermittent JS. I guess a review of these things in progress will wait for Raul. I noticed that Alejandro has just popped in with, I think he's got a pull request that doesn't seem to be connected up to that at the moment. I guess the key thing for us to really coordinate, rather than necessarily spend a lot of time on this, which maybe relies more on Raul being here, is for Mike. The thing that Michael and I were discussing is we thought that maybe you'd ended up with not going to have much free time. Is that we might need to just like get on and get the time zone thing sorted. But it sounds like you're saying you think you'll have a bit of time this week. So yeah, maybe if you could pair with Michael on that, that would be great. I'm also the main thing that concerns me, apart from the intermittent JS stuff, is the this time zone bug on the events list.
Yeah,
did you start looking at that?
I put the reason into it.
Oh, right. You put in that little bit of snippet. So there's something. Yeah, I guess I just didn't understand the reason. Maybe we should just.
It's the wrong date.
It's the wrong. This thing
if you
here.
just look at the if you go to your page where it's showing the wrong time. Just do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like here or here.
See, the date's wrong.
Thursday, April the 14th, 2016.
See how it's February 3rd?
February 3rd? Sorry?
Just look at the source underneath that time. If you do an inspect
element,
on the source of that time.
Then that's come up for me in a different window. So that's saying like date time. Okay. So I guess that date time, that's coming up with the starting date of the event, of the whole sequence, rather than the date time of the current thing. Okay. Right.
That's the issue, which was back before the time change, which is why it's showing the wrong time. It's correctly showing what we told it to show. The problem is we're giving it the wrong date time.
Right. And so the issue then comes down to, we've got our index of all of our events. Just close all there, close all in group, close others. So we've got our event, this is this thing here. So it's going and so so it's going here from instance time, striff time, rather than event start time. Maybe. That's weird, isn't it?
Well, the clock is the calendar, I think, comes up correctly. It's
is it? Oh, the calendar's coming up correctly.
There's two spans. The span above it is fine.
Yeah, okay.
It's that second span, the FA clock O. That's doing event start time, which is making it go back to the original start date. I think if you just do instance start time, it might work.
Right.
If you just do instance time, it might work.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Instead of event start, I think if you just change that to instance start time, it should work, or instance time.
And then yeah, I mean, I find the whole structure of this thing. But anyway, I guess that can be looked at separately. And I guess I don't know. Is there
Yeah.
that's very helpful. So yeah, so I can just note there is basically if I take the code and put that in here, 1, 2, 3, Ruby. So problem is in code above event dot start time is getting time from several years ago when event sequence started, and that's in different daylight savings. Okay, excellent. Well, that's very helpful for me and hopefully for fixing that bug. Excellent. So I guess that the question there is anybody interested in anything about the board? We still have, we've got lots of things in the ready column. I don't know if there's anything that's appeared in the backlog that we need to pull in. I guess definitely this is the bug there that we're just talking about. That's there. Yeah. So I mean, would a sensible thing now? I mean, if Mike and Michael, if you're both free, do you want to just nip off and do some pairing on the that allowing users to select the time zone when they're creating events?
I've got about an hour
All
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you on an iPad or are you on a computer today?
No, I'm on my MacBook.
Cool. Well, I mean, what I would say is, I mean, I'm tempted to leave this Hangout running and wait for Raul just so that I can, get the pull, hopefully review with him about getting the pull requests merged. But yeah, Mike and Michael, if you want to go off and create a new Hangout, maybe Puneet, maybe actually that gives me a little bit of time here. I could just try and help you with your setup issues.
All right.
Sure. Actually, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Unless there's anything else, from in terms of planning that Michael, you want to work out.
Sure. Can you start a Hangout, Michael?
Yeah.
And send. Are you gonna start it on website 1?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Okay. Well, maybe when we'll get started. Look, Puneet, do you want to share your screen and show us the latest stuff that you're up to?
Yep. Just a minute. Screen share. Okay. Oh, sorry, this is not the one. Entire screen is please. Okay, can you see the screen now,
I can. Yeah.
Sam?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so yeah, so as you told, I've saved the parameters inside this. This is the project root, and I've saved the piece. This looks fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me try to run this feature. So I think it's giving some cross origin issues, the XML HTTP request with respect to localhost. Actually, I felt that there are some issues that I can look into myself because
yeah.
I
So
mean,
we're getting a warning there.
Yes.
Okay, and then okay, yeah. So that's if you do git status now. What do you see? Yeah. So that okay. So there's a thing here with potentially your locale as well. So we would need to look. We would need to look in. I mean, so from where you are there, I would do like more, and then look at the contents individually of each of these 4 files, or whatever mechanism. I would want to browse the contents of these 4 files because there's a locale issue that affects this charges thing.
Okay. I'll check these 4 files, I think. Okay. And the other issue was related to, I think, project details.
Well, I would say it's important that you check these files right now. Let's look at them together.
Okay.
Because this is quite complex to sort out independently.
Vim will be okay for this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would just do, there's no need to edit it, so I would just do more at the start. But if you prefer using Vim, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just, that's fine. So ignore that file. Let's look at the next one.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so you've got a locale here of en_in. Yeah, so yeah, so basically you've got the Indian locale there, and the way that we had fixed this previously is we copied the contents of one file into the other, but I think probably the thing to do is to leave this until we've got a whole new load of sandboxing coming through. So let's, at least, having been able to identify that, I think I can potentially fix this for you the next time it comes up if it's not fixed by the latest stuff that we merge in. So let's leave this one for the moment.
Okay.
And then move on.
So. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, so this one is the 3rd file.
Yeah, so I don't need to see the other files now.
Okay,
now
okay.
Okay.
All right, I think this was one of the issue. The other one was, I think, the project feature.
Yeah, so if you run that individually.
Yes. Sorry. So many windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in that situation, I would generally say that you want to run the specific cucumber that failed rather than the set of that feature, the specific scenario. So if you notice in the error message, when it gives you the error message, if you look back at the error message, you should see that it ends with a colon and then a line number. So if you look back on your other screen. You're not going to look back at the other screen?
Oh.
So here, do you see where it says projects feature 184?
Yeah.
So what I often do when I see something like that, if I want to run it individually, is not there. If you copy from where it says cucumber up to 184, you know what I mean? Like you can copy the text in there. For instance, cucumber features projects.feature : 184. So if you copy precisely that text, can you?
Okay, so you mean to put the details of the feature, that the scenario that is causing this failure, right?
Yeah, but like in terms of being able to run specifically the scenario that has failed, if you now use your mouse to copy the text cucumber features projects.feature : 184, can you do that with your mouse now? Like go back to the go back.
It cleared all the tests.
It did. I'm trying to show you something else. So if you just go back to the I'm trying to show you something about a process to speed things up. So if you copy now cucumber features projects.feature 184 like this, Yeah,
Okay.
exactly that. And then you copy that. And then you just drop that in on the command line. You can run specifically the scenario that you want, which I think you understood. But I just
Yes. Yes.
I particularly wanted to highlight the way that Cucumber spits out that information, so it's then very easy for you to run the very specific one. But so this is exactly the problem that we've been having with intermittent JS failures, is that when they run in a batch of like everything, they can and then only sometimes they fail. But when we look at them individually, they tend to pass, as it's done here. And even as you saw there, you ran the project's feature file, and that.
Oh, okay, okay. Now I understand. Actually, I was earlier I was still running the whole feature which contained all the scenarios, and this time I'm running the scenario individually, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, I don't know if I've spoken to you before. You've heard me say about there's a thing is your kind of the debug loop, or the time for your debug loop. And so when you're trying to work on fixing something, although you want to ultimately be running this full suite of tests because you want to check that everything works together. In terms of being able to work fast on fixing one thing, then being able to run precisely the scenario, or in the case of RSpec, being able to run precisely the RSpec thing that you're working with could hugely speed up the rate at which you can make adjustments and so on. It's also very useful for the debugger. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, this is part of what's is frustrating us with this project at the moment, is that we've got a number of these intermittently failing tests. So I don't think there's anything else we can do here to help you with this one. Again, the next wave of stuff that merges into develop should hopefully make it more stable, but it doesn't seem like a complete solution at the moment. Do you want to run the RSpec? Should we have a little look at the RSpec failure that you had?
Okay. I think if I run all of them, it will take a lot of time.
That's right. So exactly, you could come back here and we could look for, now potentially in the output there, it will show you the specific RSpec that's failing. So if you scroll down, there you go. So it's got, so you could just take the top one there. So you could copy RSpec down to where it says line 14, and that would allow you to, you could even keep, you could have the line 4. So even though all of those are failing, it's probably sensible for, in terms of what the screen's going to dump out, since the error is the same for all of them, let's just run the one on line 14. So if I were you there, I would copy all the way up to the 14. The other thing is, are you familiar with the difference between if you use bundle exec as a prefix or not on the front of that command? Do you know what I mean?
No. Actually, I tried both of them, and it felt I didn't pay much attention to bundle exec because things were working with using command individually. It means just using RSpec, so I didn't pay attention.
So that's something. I mean, often it's not a problem, but it's a good thing to be aware of, because it can sometimes make a big difference. Is if for example, let's take, you've copied this command. Let's copy this and just let's run it in the command line.
Okay. Was running RSpec tests previously.
So and yeah, so I mean, this one thing here is this is a view spec, and although I was, back in the day we focused on including view specs in many of our AgileVentures projects, I now feel that they're probably, surplus to, I think I now agree with Armando that they're surplus to requirement, and I even go further, and I think maybe a lot of the controller specs we have are not necessarily helping us. So that one thing is, now what you can do, of course, as well though, is you can type bundle exec here, so bundle space exec. I've got that shortened to BE, and then paste the same command in, like so. And so now the difference here, if you've got bundle exec, is supposed to be that it's supposed to guarantee that it will now run this with the gems, the libraries that are specifically in your gemfile.lock. And as happens in this case, it's not making any difference. So you know,
Yes.
no big deal. But I tend to, just to be on the safe side, I tend to just leave it. And particularly because I've shortened it to BE in my alias. I mean, I'll show you actually. I can find. Oh yeah, this is the. I have these. I'll put this in your Slack. I have these aliases set up in my Bash RC so that I can kind of run bundle exec very easily, and then or specifically the RSpec and Cucumber with a particular format that I prefer. But that's not necessarily going to. That's sort of, you know, for your potential interest. That's not necessarily going to help us with this issue here. Which, yeah, I mean, we just reused Capybara screenshot. I mean, this one, I have to say, it's like unable to find matching line from backtrace, and it's basically saying their WebKit server failed to start. So I'm tempted to there. Just go WebKit server failed to start Ubuntu. Okay, so here's somebody who's having that. Okay. So I think you might need QT. Do you want to type which QT on your? No, you haven't got QT. Control F. Ubuntu. I mean, the funny thing is that the other RSpecs and so on are all passing. I mean, this stuff that I'm looking at here is all. A lot of people are like doing stuff for. I mean, on Ubuntu, do you do apt-get to install things?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could. What's this from? That's Capybara WebKit installing. Yeah. So which version of Ubuntu are you on?
It's 14.04.
Oh, okay. So I mean, here, I mean, this is from the Capybara WebKit wiki. There's this command for installing like versions of Qt that you could try. With problems like this in the past, sometimes there's an issue with needing to uninstall Qt, which, I mean, it gets kind of deep. Like Qt is, I don't really understand what it is. It's some sort of like cross-platform build tool, and like something under the hood for Capybara for it to run the. So what's on there? It says
everything is already installed.
So you might want to possibly uninstall them and then reinstall. This is the newest version. Yeah, it's funny that you should get that error on that one and not. I guess if we got something else in the. I mean, so part of, you know, with the setup, we would love the website one setup documentation to be just clearer and cleaner, and it's not. I mean, you will go on.
Yeah. Means even for anyone after the initial setup, what a user tries to do is just to make sure if everything is fine. He tries to run that test, and when the things start failing, then he starts to have some doubts that, okay, this thing is not being set up correctly. Though I start the server, it looks fine. The page vendors are
Yes. Well, and of course it's difficult to. I mean, I guess the project setup that we've got still mentions doing this Rails setup.sh. Yeah. Hey, Raul. Yeah, I was just looking. I know we have in local support a lot of stuff. I mean, it's difficult to know that, and I guess this is like in this context. Like if we were in local support, then I might, you know, I would be like, okay, well, let's spend some more time on this error. I can't immediately. I mean, the only thing I can think of here is like trying to uninstall Qt, and then like the reinstalling it, and then like uninstalling Capybara and then reinstalling Capybara, because basically, I mean, the error seems to come down to a Capybara WebKit connection error. But I mean, this may be like a I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I think I probably, and unless Raul, have you ever encountered an error like this that Puneet's having? He's trying to get set up with website 1. Can you see this? It's like Capybara WebKit connection error, unable to find matching line from backtrace, and this is on like a view spec. You're muted at the moment, Raul, actually, if you were saying that.
Yeah, I was just switching to the screen to check the error he's getting. What is the problem?
Sorry, go ahead.
Unable to find matching line from backtrace. No, this is the first time I get this. And you say it's related to Qt.
Well, I'm suggesting that it's related to Qt because other people are reporting online that it's related to Qt, and I think other people have it systemically that it fails across the board, but for some reason for Puneet, it's only failing for this particular test in this way. So yeah, I mean he's opened a ticket and he's put all of the information in there. And I think that where we're leaving it is maybe, I mean, Puneet, I think you might need to explore that further in the context of Ubuntu. I mean, we would love to, update the website 1 installation documentation to make, to address these kinds of things. But we probably can't spend too much more time on it. As you were saying, Puneet, you might want to try on EC2 or C9 to see if you can, avoid. It's a shame because obviously it's nice to be able to develop on your local machine.
Yeah, it's
Look,
fine.
You're running Linux, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm running Ubuntu 14.04.
Okay. All right, so I was able to run the project on Ubuntu not so long ago, and let's do this. Maybe after this meeting we can check it out together and see if we can solve this. If you're available. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll be available for next 2.5 hours, you can say.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's very good of you, Raul. If you've got the time, yeah, I'd just say be cautious about how much time we spend on that. Yeah. Cool. Well, glad you're here, Raul. Yeah, we kind of did the main meeting thingy, and went through. And we kind of wrapped up, and I think Mike and Mike have gone off to do some pairing on the. No, I forgot the name of it. The time zone stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the. Yeah. So just for your edification, I updated a couple of the previous action items. The struggles. We talked about finding pairs, intermittent JS. We talked about Puneet's setup struggles that we've been talking about. I highlighted communication issues as I work out how to communicate with FreeRanger in the pull requests. Still lots of work for me to do there to improve. But anyway, yeah, we did. Michael and I have finished the cleanroom branch. It has not conclusively fixed the intermittent JS problems, but I would love to get it merged in. And then we sort of had a little bit of a brainstorm about how to help people get set up with pairing. Do you have any struggles, successes, or suggestions from the week, Raul, that you want to share?
Well, for me, it was mainly the fact that I resumed at the campus, and now it's a bit difficult to kind of find the time to do everything. So, like now, there's just today, for instance, I had unplanned meeting. I got on campus and it just threw me.
Sure.
So, but I'm hoping things settle down because we had to set up exam papers and all that, so that's what was taking up most of my time. So yeah.
No problem. And we'll just if the meetings could be at a different time that would be more convenient for you, just let us know and we'll get that sorted.
Okay.
But for the time being, I'll leave it where it is, and I'll if you tell me to move it, I'll move it. Otherwise, I'll leave it where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of moving it, would you be able to do it from this time?
Yeah, we could potentially be starting from not right now, but from 10 minutes ago, from the time that you joined. In principle, we could do that. Yeah, probably the if we can move it. I mean, what I would be tempted to do is, well, actually, well, let me look at what time it's actually set up to start now. So if we go to the events and we're looking forward, can I find the kickoff in there? I want them to do that.
I think it's 3:15 UTC.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it would probably be this one here. I mean, I could maybe move this to if we moved it to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Or well, let me start. If we moved it to like, is this now in my time? No, it's not. That's UTC. Yeah. If we moved it to 3:45.
Okay.
That would then be 4:45 my time because I need to finish at kind of 5:30, and I think we kind of need 45 minutes. So at least anyway, if you're not here until it for the first 15 minutes, that's less of a deal. So we'll let's push it half an hour later, and then we'll see if it needs to be
what
better.
I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna review what you guys discussed and check the documentation and just to get up to speed.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and we didn't.
I wanted to coordinate on something before we leave.
Well, I think the only thing that we would maybe do now is when we just have a little review again of what we did of the pull requests, like we did on Monday, just to talk about where we are there. I haven't actually looked at this one from Alejandro Bab. Okay, so we've got something here. We probably need to feed him back that about connecting this to an issue, and point him at the new contributions doc and so on. I guess I'm going to close this, like my attempt to merge Ruby 2.3 into there for the moment. So Brian's got this thing here, which has got the 2.3, and you know all about this one. I would suggest that maybe we would merge in our clean room thing first. I think that you were saying on Monday that you wanted to get Brian's thing in because that's an increased stability from that will help you move forward. I was thinking on reflection, particularly now I was finished, this our clean room version here should also increase the stability. So my preference would be to get this in first, and then we can do the Ruby 2.3 upgrade on top of that, rather than the other way around. Because when I tried to pull his thing into ours, it kind of, I don't know, it seemed to be challenging. So anyway, I'll leave that with you to reflect upon. But in principle,
I started looking at these two ones, but I had one failure on my branch. I just couldn't. I don't remember exactly which one, but it had to do with a payment. I don't know why it was failing on my side. Though.
Had to do with what? Sorry, a payment.
The Stripe integration, something to do with charging the user.
Yes. I mean, there is an intermittent JS failure with that. You've got the .env stuff set up, right?
No, I do.
Yeah. And we set up the locale thing for you, didn't we, the other day? I would say with these two that these are actually now kind of irrelevant, given that we have this one.
Okay.
Because these ones now basically put a complete sandboxing, both Billy and VCR, around every single acceptance test. So I'm tempted now because I'd say let's just close these two, and then we'll just do this one here.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I'm gonna mark those two as closed for the moment, and then that leaves us to we could have done stuff on the division, we haven't. The display long nicknames. I don't know if you saw. I mean, I went through several versions of writing what still was end up being a long response to Free Range's points. Which included some code, as I said, look, this is how we could do the Jasmine testing. And he was then saying he was confused about what I was asking him to do, and I said, well, up to you. And he said, he's going to stick with his current pull request. And I had previously said, well, for a simple life, I guess we can just pull it in. So I think I've now I'm now not going to try and convince him of anything further on this, and it could just be, I guess. No, what did have some? Yeah, I mean, it fixes a bug. Yeah, so I think sensibly we should just merge that in, and yeah, it doesn't have any conflicts. So I think that can be merged in. And were you saying that? So, well, and Michael and Mike will be working on this issue 782 there. And were you saying this one? I forget what we said on Monday, but this one basically we think is probably ready to go, and you'll merge that in a bit later. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So
they're just doing the clean room version. As I saw, there was a lot of files there.
Yeah.
It's just the cached files that have been deleted. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you pulled that out locally? Do you want to just try and run that locally?
That's what I'm gonna do before I merge that in.
Yeah. Should we just try and do that together? On the off chance that if you have got any outstanding issues on that one, I'd love to be able to help you with them immediately. I mean, like if you're going to maybe work with Puneet next, but if you've pulled this out, do you just want to kick off like a Cucumber run locally, and we'll just?
Yeah, I'm starting my camera now.
Yeah. And so what we've done here is, I mean, we ripped out the whole acceptance. We took out everything, and then we basically we kind of upgraded. We noticed that the Cucumber Rails had been used, and so we upgraded the Cucumber Rails. We took a more selective approach than Brian did, but we kind of like reinstalled Cucumber Rails, and it regenerated the environment file, and then we basically added in each acceptance test one at a time, and we added in the necessary config and step definitions as we went through, and we started with the usual candidates. And initially, it seemed a lot more stable, and then as the number of acceptance tests has increased, it has started to seem less stable. But we have now got at least the network connections are all being cached as far as we can see.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your screen there. Yeah, so you've got that there.
I'm gonna pull the okay. Here. Okay.
So the one acceptance test that we didn't pull back in was the fully commented out Discus acceptance test.
Okay.
Because that life is only so long.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And so you might want to do the Cucumber. Well, you like the long form. Do the Cucumber. So did you get set up with the aliases? I was just sharing the aliases. Yeah, there's like. Oh, you got. Can you do BEC? Did you set up the alias like I have for BEC, where it runs it in the ... node? You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'll just pop it in your Slack. It's like this, but you can just run if you want to run.
So format progress. Okay.
Yeah, but you can obviously you can just do the individual Cucumber command. You got BE, but yeah, cool. Yeah, so if you kick that off, yeah. And I guess then that will potentially take a little while to run. Maybe we should have run the.
It's running now.
Yeah. Well, I guess, and maybe I should then. Well, I guess what definitely hoping that that's green on your machine and that it doesn't generate any new cache files. Although the cache files is less than I think that the really valuable thing will be if that's green for you. And so we are getting some new messages in the log. This one here about require.js, and that seems to be actually Discus related. We've upgraded all of the like Phantom.js and Capybara and everything, but we don't use require.js specifically in. Oh, there you go. Oh no, that's interesting. You've got the image screenshot there as well. Because when I ran that before, we weren't getting that. Okay. And I guess there, did you want to just open that in a different tab? You want to open the image screen, if you copy and paste the image screenshot version? And let's have a look at what that was.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this was the...
Yeah, this is probably the one that's been fitting me.
Right. If you go back to there, just open a new tab. If you do like Command T or whatever, not in the browser, in the terminal. Like for me, when I'm on, I don't know if you're on a Mac or whatever, Command T, and then just do a git status, and I have a feeling that the way, yeah. So if you open that get checkout stripe.com file that you've got there, I have a feeling that the locale fix that we did for you was, and this is actually, Puneet needs to do the same thing to get his working. You do like more, and then just that file that's the YAML file there in the features support request catch.
On this one?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, yeah, it's the locale thing. So I think the problem, okay, so actually, yeah, and so the problem is this, that and so remember Puneet, a minute ago, we had exactly the same thing for you, but it was en_in.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we have to do in order to get this to work is not, and I think this is my mistake, Raul. Last time we just checked this into the cache, but we can't just check it into the cache. Oh, did we? What we need to do is go into the existing cache and find their locale response for either the ENGB or the EN US and copy that over. Did we, actually, now I'm getting confused, Raul. Did we do that with you? Did we?
I did that for mine. I actually opened an issue for that, and I submitted one.
You opened an issue and you submitted one. Say that again.
I'm saying we opened an issue regarding this locale file for.
Oh yeah, with the request cache people and asking them about it. Yeah, and they were.
That same day we did this fix, and then it started working for me.
Right, and so
with the locale file for that.
Yes. Now, in this case, this is failing for you because this clean room thing, we haven't pulled in the fix for you. So that's why this is failing here, and potentially on those other branches, it was maybe like the same sort of things. I'm just looking for the contents of the file from the new clean room version of. Okay, so I found it for the US thing. So this is the best way to do that. I guess I'm going to put it into Slack. I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
Well, I can.
Actually, well, if I give you the file name, hold on. If I give you the file name, you can find it. Here we go. So what you want to do is this is the file name. So you want to file, and this is actually the same for you, Puneet. If you want to do this locally for yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put the file name into the Slack chat. And so what you need to do is open that file, and then take the contents of that file, not the entire contents, but take the top part of it. I mean, you need to maintain the URL to be the same like for your zone. So if you copy from like line 3 all the way down to the bottom. And then if you pop that into your locale file, keeping your own specific locale at the top, but replacing the the rest of the file with this one as from Michael's run in the US, then in principle that will. So that was the only one that failed for you in the. Yeah. Okay. That's promising. Yeah. So if we just.
Okay, so features, support, texture, cache.
Yeah, so you want to find the one. There you go, that's it. Does it make sense, Puneet, what Raoul is doing here?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I copied from body.
Yeah. And so if you save that now, if you now run, I would run that individual test. And
so
hopefully.
You replace.
Go on, Puneet.
Yeah, you replace everything below the from the body onwards, right?
Yeah, basically. And so what we're doing here is that well, what it seems is that whenever this credit card thing goes through, it's going to do a request based on the locale, and in order for all of the things to make sense, we need that locale response to respond with the same thing rather than a different one in order to work. And so yeah. Okay, so I'm green. Yeah, I love to see the green. So in principle, that is then everything will be completely green on your system. Obviously, that we'll need to open a new pull request to push that through because of the clean room. But
then, since we already have a fix for this on the branch undeveloped, won't this be merged in?
No, because I've actually, in the clean room thing, I've changed the location of where the fixtures are. Like I think I pulled basically the request cache in. So I mean, in terms of doing the clean room, we deleted the entire request cache, and then we recreated it in a new location, and we reran the Stripe charging activities. So it hit the network again and generated a whole new load of cached files, which include, hashes of timestamps and this, that, and the other. So basically, and my apologies for the inconvenience, but yeah, the previous thing that we did and we merged that in has basically, if we now merge this clean room thing in, it will delete that previous work, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
But so yes. Yes, well, I'm very pleased to see that you're not getting other failure. And so then with this one here, I think you will find that there is a uptick in stability in terms of in the same that you were seeing on Brian's Ruby 2.3 branch, so that you could start building your the gem security thing on top of that. Although maybe we should. I mean, I guess the interesting thing will be how easily we can upgrade to Ruby 2.3 on top of this one.
Yeah.
I sort of feel a little bit bad because obviously Brian's done that work, and I'm kind of saying, look, let's get our thing in there. I guess I just emotionally couldn't cope with the clean room branch existing any longer. I feel like it's we've got to have that locked down, and the Ruby 2.3 upgrade is slightly lower priority relative to that. And sometimes as project manager, you've got to just make decisions. So
ultimately, after merging this, we definitely gonna have a lot of conflicts on that branch as well. So.
Yeah, but I think it will be easier this way round than the other way round, where I ran into some real difficulty. So I guess we can have a look at that tomorrow. So Puneet, go on. Say again, Raoul.
These errors that I'm getting here, no defined calls to.
Yeah, so those ones there. That's the same. That's this require.js thing. and this is like log noise. It's not actually an error from our point of view. It's like but basically we don't use require.js in what's it called, AgileVentures website 1. It's in Discus is the only place that it's in, and so this is like for the upgraded Phantom.js Capybara. It's now being a bit more verbose about some of the problems that one of our plugins, i.e. Discus, is having. So I think that probably the solution to that one is ultimately completely removing Discus. Well, that's a shame in some ways. I don't know. And then there's another one here. We've got this OmniAuth setup endpoint detected. So I mean, I like the green dots to be completely green dots and see nothing else. So I'm a bit disturbed by this noise that's being pulled in. But I think that's in the first instance as a price I'm willing to pay for having the full sandboxing. Just do a git status now to see if you've got any other addition. So it's just the changes there, and I guess those document helpers and form helpers, that stuff.
That's for me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So and that was 2 runs with no intermittent failures. So that's pleasing to see. All right. Cool. Well, I will leave that with you then. I need to wrap up for the day. Shall I leave the Hangout broadcasting for you two guys to work and record what you're doing, or what should I do?
Actually, I think that I haven't spent much time, and I just wanted to give this issue one day before, before seeking help. I think I can look more into it rather than, it will be great to, have a help from Raul, but let me just try to find out something.
Yeah. Have a little research, and Raul's on, and of course, we've got the website 1 Slack channel, and you guys can hook up if you need to. Okay.
Right. Right.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll say ciao for now. I guess actually I'm busy learning. I can now say I could say I've forgotten what it is in Korean. I can say do zobaczenia, which means see you in Polish. I guess can I collect now, Raul? Are you originally from Cameroon?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the language in Cameroon? Is it?
Official languages of French and English.
Okay, so I say au revoir then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you speak any other languages?
So my home language, the one that my parents have, I don't speak it fluently, so let's not go there.
Okay, well, let's not. And Puneet, is there? Do you speak Hindi or Gujarati or what other languages do you speak?
I speak. My mother tongue is Hindi, but I speak English also because it's a sort of heritage thing that we got English from England, you can say, all the rule and everything. So,
sure.
But yeah.
Yes. Apologies for all of that, by the way.
No issues.
I know
it's long back in the past.
Indeed. But how does one say goodbye in Hindi?
Goodbye.
Or
there are many ways to say. They just say, for simplicity, they say chalte hain.
Oh, okay. So chalte hain.
Yeah.
Chalte hain. So I will say chalte hain, and I'll see you guys very soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bye for now. Take care.
Bye, Raul. Bye, Sam.